Hi, everybody. Wherever you're seeing this, whether it's on my YouTube channel or my private group or my big group, I hope that it helps. What are you about to see? I'm going to teach y'all how to do print and cut, but not print from Cricut Design Space. And the reason for that is Cricut doesn't give you all the colors that you can achieve using a program that actually prints all the colors. Some of you are very happy with the colors you get out of Cricut. That's fine. This video is then not for you. But this is for those of you that want to do this the easiest way and get the most intense, beautiful colors that you can get. All right. So this is the image I want to use. Now, this image is going to be maxed out with the offset at 8.2. The only way we could do that is just create this image and then create the offset, and then we're going to size it out. Turned out after I sized it out and unflattened it that this image turned out to be 7.5558. Okay? Or 7.558. There we go. All right. So we now have an image sitting here that I want to put on a t-shirt. But the problem is I have a printer that's only 8.5 inches wide, which means I can only print about 8.25 or 8.2 to 8.25 inches of that because there's about a 1/4 inch margin built into all printers, unless you have the borderless option and then you can print to the edge. But most of the regular format printers do not have that option. So I brought the image in. What did I do next? I created an offset. Why is it so big? Because these parts, I want everything to be all one piece so that when I get to my final vinyl, it's all one piece. Otherwise, you got to do piece and cuts. Okay, you got to do a piece here and a piece there and try and line up the print and all that. Yeah, no, don't make it difficult on yourself. So what did we do? I took this image. Don't worry about what size it is yet. And I created an offset on it by clicking edit and then offset. In this particular case, in order to get that A in there, which now you can't even see. Let me cancel this so I can get back over where you guys can see. Here you go. All right, now we're going to click offset. In order to get that A in there, this actually worked out pretty good right here. This A is attached at 0.25. So we're going to go ahead and apply. And everything is attached. There's no stray errant pieces. And I have a decent little tab in here, right? It's not too small. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and use this. And I'm going to scroll back out so you can see. And I'm going to change that offset color, which is right here, to blue. When I do that, or even this blue. That's the original blue. Let's go ahead with the lighter blue. All right. The darker blue makes everything pop up a little more, but we'll leave it on that one. All right, so this is our new print and cut, okay? Now, we need to flatten this. So let's go ahead and flatten it, and that becomes a print and cut, flatten, print and cut. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add another offset. But before we do, we're going to size this out so that we have everything we can possibly get out of it. So let's just go ahead and hit 8.2, making sure this lock is locked. I am at 10.6 over here, which is less than 10.75, so I can still use 8.5 by 11 paper. If your image is longer than 10.75, you're going to need, as long as it's 8.2, you can use 8.5 by 14 paper. But for now, here you go. All right. Now I have an image that's flattened. Now I need a vinyl for it. So let's go ahead and do that. So this image is all one piece, and we're going to go do the same thing we did before. We're going to hit a, and here I did it again where you guys can't see. All right, and I'm going to do on the negative side this time, and half of 0.25 is about 0.12. So here we go. Go over here. We're on the negative side. I went past that middle line, 0.12, and hit enter. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and apply. And I'm going to actually change that to an orange so you can see it. I'm going to get rid of this. And now what you can see, if I zoom in a little bit, is this is going to represent the vinyl you're cutting, that you're going to press this image to. But notice that that offset and that image where they meet, you do not see any of the actual image bleeding through. So now I have a trick for you. When you print this out, and I'm going to show you how to print it from another program. When you print this out, you're going to trim around it. You're going to cut this vinyl. Both of them are mirrored. You're going to cut this vinyl, and you're going to take that print and lay it on a piece of parchment paper. Use a little spritz of spray adhesive, and then you're going to apply your vinyl on top of it, and you'll be able to see what you're doing. Doesn't require a light board, doesn't require the window, doesn't require standing on your head. You will be able to see what you're doing. Once you have that down, because the carrier sheet is off the back of that vinyl, because you must remove it first, then you're going to put a piece of parchment paper on top of it and very carefully slide it out and grab a hold of it and flip it over onto your plat. It'll then be parchment paper on the bottom, vinyl on the bottom, with the press side up and the image facing down. Then you're going to take some tape, remove the parchment paper off the top, and take some tape and tape down your image to the parchment paper and cover that's on the bottom. And then cover it with parchment paper and go ahead and press it. This particular image would probably be pressed at about a 365 for about 60 seconds. It might even go less than that as far as time-wise. Anywhere from 45 to 60 seconds is usually what works for vinyl. Okay? Now what we've done, and now we're going to go get rid of these other ones because I no longer need them. And this one. Okay. So now these are the only two we have. Okay. So the other two are gone. And the only thing we have is this orange vinyl that is except I can see right here that it's separate. See that? So as soon as it did its thing, it separated itself. And I don't want this little piece being separate. This is why I take you guys all the way through this. So, lesson learned, right? Okay, now we're going to go back to these two. I thought I was smart, but it turns out I missed a step. Because what I forgot to do is zoom in real close on that A up there. And you can't see it, and I can't see it, but once the vinyl showed up for cut, we can now see that it's not connected. Okay, and we got to have it connected. So 0.33 was our friend. All right, so we're going to go back to that one, which was our original. Okay, and we're going to create that 0.33 so that when we do the print and cut a little bit smaller, it doesn't disconnect, because you need a little bit thicker offset to make sure your vinyl, when you go on the inside, doesn't disconnect. If we went outside, it wouldn't disconnect, but here it disconnected. All right, so we're going to unflatten this, okay? And we're going to move that. Going to use this one, and we're going to move this over. And now we're going to do a quick offset of 0.33. And hit enter and hit apply and change the color. And we are back to the original that I came up with, okay? And this offset was done, which is right here, which is changed to a basic cut, was done at 0.16, less than this, okay? So this is no longer any good, so we'll cut that. This one's no longer any good, so we'll cut that. And this one's no longer any good, so we're going to cut that. And we are back to the original, what I had. Whoops, I did not mean to do that, so let me move that back. and select both of these and flatten. And then we're going to bring this over here. And we're going to change, this is from this original. So I'm going to change that back to 8.2. Whoops, not 8.5, 8.2. And hit enter. And we are now back to what I originally created, which was an 8.2 by 10.564. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit so you guys can see the yellow over it. And you will see it lines up perfectly. Okay? And I'm telling you, this is the easiest way to do this because now that nothing is disconnected, I just have one piece of vinyl to go line up. I don't have to worry about two pieces of vinyl that I'm trying to line up. All right? That vinyl is the only thing that's going to get subbed. When you're all done, you're just going to have this piece of vinyl with this image on it, but the thickness on the outside is not going to be as thick because this is smaller, right? So all that excess ink here is going to go right back up to the paper, not be on your shirt, not be somewhere else. And this is going to have everything here. All right. Now what we need to do, though, is save this. So we hit save. Before we do, we got to make sure that in our settings on Cricut Design Space, we have cloud and computer as the saving for offline. Okay? All right. So once you do that, then you're going to go ahead and hit save and you're going to save it and name it. Once you do that, it's going to show up over here. The only thing is when you first see this, it's not going to have a picture here. So you have to edit. I have edit photo because I've already added the photo, but I had a photo from earlier that I had snipped and saved and I added that photo here. And once I did, now I can go on my computer and go open up my secret folder. All right, let's go check out the secret folder. So we're going to go to this PC and then we're going to go to Windows. We're going to go down here to users and we're going to click on our user and we're going to go to the Cricut Design Space. Yeah, I bet you didn't even know this was here. Click on local data and then click on that. And you're going to click on canvases. Okay. If you scroll down, the very last thing you did will probably be, whoops, and you know what? Because I just hit save and didn't put a picture on there, that didn't work. All right, let me pause and go put a picture on. Okay, so I just wanted to show you something real quick. So I went back to resave the thing so that you guys could see. When you go to save it and you go to your projects, this is what you'll see, but the problem is you actually need to add a photo. So we're going to click on add a photo. This box pops up because right now there's no photo there. I don't know why that's how it works, but that's how it works. And I might be missing something here. I can click on this and move that over, except it doesn't work. So we're going to go ahead and hit browse. I'm going to add a different photo. I'm not even going to add that photo. I'm going to add the original photo and just click open. And that's the photo that now shows up. Okay. Don't worry about the skewing of it or any of that. And then just hit save. So I now have saved that. Current time right now is 2:55 p.m. Okay. Now that time is going to be important in just a second. I also hid, if you see this, I also hid that vinyl so that when I open this, I don't have to crop that later. Okay, so the only thing that's going to show up when I open up the file, hopefully, is just that image, which is this. Okay, so now we're going to go to my computer, to my, let's just go up one. Okay, and I'm going to go back up and hopefully it refreshes this way. And if not, then I'll just go back. Okay, so I just said it was 255, it was 254. It should show up here. And there it is. All right, so there's my image, and that's the image I'm going to take into Affinity. So I didn't have to snip it. I did get full quality image. So now we're going to save it, and I'm going to save it as a PNG, and I'm going to name this Girl Loves Dogs 31. Okay. And I'm going to click save. All right. So now what we want to do is go into Affinity. And in Affinity, you're going to do a file, or you're going to open up Affinity Canva, and you're going to create your document to 8.5 by 11, and then you're going to bring your image in. Once you bring your image in, then you can resize the image itself. Okay. So if your image comes in and it has margins around it, this is called the bounding box. If the bounding box is outside and not touching this, you need to raster and trim. And you do that. Sorry. Give me a sec. By right-clicking, sorry, by right-clicking and coming down here to raster and trim. Okay, that will get rid of the margins and it'll trim it right to the edges of all four sides. Okay, all right. Then you're going to come down here and you're going to resize it. All right. This little locking mechanism is called the lock aspect ratio. You want it locked, okay, because we're only going to change one thing, and that's the width. And that we're going to change to 8.2 and hit enter. Now, this image is now at 8.2 and it's at 10.556, which is exactly correct. This document, you want to make sure that you're centered on this document. So go up here and align, center, and align vertically. Okay. The reason you're doing that is when you go to print this, I want to make sure that we're not cutting off anything. All right. And I got this as wide as we could possibly get it, which was 8.2. Now it's time to go print. So step by step, you open up Canva, Affinity, you create a 8.5 by 11 document at 300 DPI, in whether you're in or horizontally or vertically, whether you're in landscape or portrait. You turn off the margins. I like transparent background. You can turn that on. And then you click on File and open your document. Okay. Then you want to right click on it and raster and trim it. Okay. I'm still on the vector tool. I came over here and I put in my size, locking my aspect ratio, because you only need to change one of those two sizes. If it's a vertical, you want to make sure that 8.2 is your width. If it's a horizontal, you want to make sure that 8.2 is your height. Okay? Because we got to be in the right area. Next thing you want to do is click on it and come up here to your alignment tool and do the center vertical. Align vertically and align horizontally. Okay. And then we're going to go print. You go to File, come down here to Print, change this to Color Management. You're going to make sure you're on the right printer. You're going to make sure that the color handling is being done by who you want it to be done by. In my case, I want my printer to handle it. Okay. I'm going to come up here and I'm going to set up my properties to the right size paper in the right orientation, the type of paper I want, my quality at the highest. I'm obviously doing this in color. I like my quiet mode on and my print preview on. It helps me not make mistakes. Then I click on more options and make sure mirrors on. And if your printer has bidirectional, turn that off. If it's fast print or high speed, turn that off. Okay. Stay out of this box. Don't touch that box ever. I know people say, oh, do actual size, fit the page, all that other crud. Don't do that. Leave it alone. If you did everything correct, it's going to print correctly to the true size. All right, then you're going to set up your color mode. I'm not going to change mine for now, and we're going to click OK. Back here again, just double checking everything. We are not touching anything other than our properties. We are coming down here and we are making sure that it's performed by the printer for the color handling. If you want to check your layout, we're on letter size paper at 8.5 by 11, single page. And if you want to check anything else like bleed and marks, that's all turned off. And we are good to go. And we're going to click OK. It's going to give us a print preview. And guess what? Notice you have those little tiny margins on each side, so you're good there, right? And I know this is almost 11 inches tall, and I have a little bit of space up there and a little space down there. That means I can print exactly the size I need. That means that print is going to fit perfectly on that piece of vinyl that you did. I hope this helps. This is actually a lot easier than it sounds because I'm taking you through every single step, and I've gone through a couple of the steps over and over again to help you learn. But one of the things I want you to know is, can you print from Cricut Design Space? Yes. Should you? In my opinion, no. And my opinion is my opinion. And it's only based on doing a lot of testing comparatively. And what I have found is my colors are a lot truer when I print outside of Cricut than when I print inside of Cricut. So now it's up to you. One of the suggestions I will make is go do some printing and testing and see what you think. Get out that scrap polyester and do some side by sides. If you're happy with your outcome from Cricut, then go do that. That's okay. But I just want to make sure you know an alternative plan. I hope this helps. I hope this finds you in a very happy mood, having a very happy day, and I hope you are even happier now that you know how to do print and cut to vinyl. Have a great day. See you soon.